I assume that is the sign to get started. Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back. I have the adoptable pleasure to try to keep the blood here above in your head and to avoid the famous postprandial dip. So I'm not going to read the title. I've chosen this topic because there's a lot of things happening in our environment, as we know, and it has also been a bit the talk of the town. And I would like to combine that with what I've seen happening and heard from many of our customers, and also combined with my own experience. Because before joining Pitcher, I had the pleasure of working many years at Nestlé Nutrition and at Reckitt, where obviously we're also rolling out CRM systems, omnichannel platforms, etc. So and it could sometimes be a bit provocative, but that's the goal. And you stop me at any moment in time, you just throw your questions so that we can have a discussion rather than only going through a presentation. So the first thing I want to say is, when I look back today, is we've been working with a lot of tech, which, with the knowledge we have today, and based on the discussions we had yesterday and today, I dare to say, is a stack of the past. And what are some of the characteristics of it? It's, first of all, it are still large and powerful kind of platforms. They are indivisible. You could say that an advantage or a disadvantage. We can discuss about that a bit later. But most importantly, also quite slow and difficult to change. And the question is there, does this setup look familiar? When I was at Nestlé and Reckitt, I would have loved having other opportunities, which today I think they are there, and we will tap and touch on it, tap in it and touch on it. So for me, if I look back, what has been the purpose of this more kind of solid, let me say, CRM systems or engagement systems is, of course, they allowed us to build our modern businesses, to engage with healthcare professionals in this case, and to keep this up to date and to give the tools to our customer-facing teams. It also allowed us to speed up and to revolutionize a bit our data operations, because suddenly we could start capturing a lot more data than ever before, and it helped us tackle what I call problems of the past, because it was a bit more a kind of a reactive system. So bottom line, for me, that's what I would say is a bit the definition of what I like to call monolithic systems. Systems of the past. And if you look at this, why do I say that? They are indeed a bit outdated, because they still focus too much on static data capture rather than looking into the future. What I have been frustrated about when I was at your side of the table was they were so rigid, very solid systems, as I said, but very rigid. I felt locked in, because it was very difficult to get other functionalities connected to this platform. Difficult to manage, that's a logical consequence of it. Quite costly, because it's an ongoing investment. Any change you wanted to do, or you need to add new functionalities, you have to pass by the cashier, obviously. Poor data quality, poor data and analytics, because it's a very difficult system to access. For me, also very important, protected environment, so not really friendly to add your own applications which you would need for your own business based on open API, and I will come back to that a bit later. For me, things are different now, and logic question, why am I claiming that? Why am I saying that? And there are, for me, three game changers. One is in the past. The first one is kicking in an open door. The pandemic was one. Secondly, and I've heard talking a lot of people during the breaks, obviously the announcement, the separation between Viva and Salesforce. And thirdly, very recently, the announcement of what Salesforce is going to do in the health and life science space by collaborating or working together with IQVIA and more in general OCE. So, pandemic. Obviously, this has demonstrated that there was a need to move fast. And I have to say, not too much surprise, a lot of tech companies were really able to scale very fast, develop new products. What didn't happen, and I think that's still one of the reasons, is to get real buy-in, emotional buy-in from the end users. And that's why still a lot of people or end users, medical reps, MSLs, are quite reluctant in using technology in which all of you have invested a lot of time and money. The second one is the famous separation. And when I talk, this is not what I think, this is what customers on Viva are telling us. They say, okay, there are a lot of open questions. And the first question is, obviously, if you look at Viva moving away from Salesforce, how important in your organization is Salesforce? Because I can imagine it is used in many other business units, business cases, etc. How complex will be the migration of data? Third point, very important, what will be the impact on the back and front-end users? And I know the automatic answer is mostly of the time we should choose for the option not to disrupt the front-end user. So the customer-facing teams, it's better to do all the changes in the back. I dare to challenge that. Why do I do that? Because, as I mentioned before, it could be a nice opportunity to re-engage the end users, the medical reps, the MSLs, line managers, to better understand. We have an opportunity today. We are going to change due to factors out of our control to really get them on board. What has been the experience in the past with the tools of today and of yesterday? How easy, another question is, will it be to connect to your existing IT infrastructure and or applications? So all questions people are also asking us, because as you know, we are working with a broadband and variation of customers on different systems. So the third one, Salesforce and IQVIA and OCE, also there, a lot of open questions. It's what will be the difference with the OCE of today? Will there be an enhancement? Will there be an improvement? How close will it move into the direction of what health and life sciences is looking for today? What will be the additional benefits from a functional perspective, price perspective, obviously, and also from a scalability perspective? So what does this all really mean? And for me, it's one big word. It's creating a lot of opportunities. Because this, for me, as I said, it's like the pandemic. These are situations that are out of control of all of us. It's something which has been created outside our will, but it gives an opportunity to reflect. And reflect, what do I mean by that? It's really to do a step back and to look at, okay, what have we been doing till today? What are our business goals? What are our strategies for today and tomorrow and the proxies? Because asking these questions will allow us to see if our current tech stack is able to support actual and future use cases. And one of the future use cases could be I want to have one platform which can accommodate different use cases. My medical reps, I have specialized reps, I have the MSLs, the medical science liaisons, and I have other functions. I would like to have them or give them the availability on one single platform, but accommodated to their needs. How can we afford ourselves, as a pharma company, flexibility and at the same time account to the unknown? And I'm very sure that you have seen happening, what I've seen happening is we are a couple of years later, so we left the pandemic behind, and the tendency is let's go back to the old way of doing business, mainly face-to-face, etc., etc. So if there's one learning, we can think we have everything under control. At the end, there are a lot of things we do not have under control. So how do we make sure, moving forward, whatever the decision is you make, that we are ready for the unprepared, what could happen tomorrow? So it's also an opportunity to evaluate what are the advantages versus the disadvantages to stick to what we have and what we know today. We know health and life sciences industry is quite conservative and not really very open to move fast or open to change. So it's worthwhile to do this exercise today to say, okay, what could be the advantage of sticking to what we have? What are we missing out? Or what could be the advantages from an engagement perspective, but also then from a tech perspective, if we move to something new? Tabula rasa to build up the business model of the future. So some questions is, as I said, how could we benefit from an agile approach if we decide to do something else? Do we have the right capabilities in-house? And if not, how can we build these capabilities and drive this forward? And what do we gain / miss out by sticking to what we have today? Which, by the way, is not really sticking to what you have today, because anyhow, it is a change. It is moving to another kind of platform in any case. So for me, you can say, okay, now you're talking the picture guy. No, this has always been my belief. I've always believed that if you really want to be customer-centric, and if you really want to create a good customer experience and a user experience, which is a critical factor in achieving that, you need to start looking at, okay, I need a solid backbone, which could be my CRM system. But on top of that, I want to have the freedom to add the applications through Open API, which I really need today. If I don't need them anymore tomorrow, I get rid of it, plug in, unplug, and I move forward. And allowing, to what I said before, accommodating different use cases. MSLs versus the traditional pharma reps, other business units, etc., unifying at the same time all the data points which you're gathering and using for other purposes. In combination of what I call best of breed applications, platforms, engagement, enablement platforms, if you combine this both, that's a very strong marriage. And that's what I call being ready for the future, to tackle the future. Why? First of all, if you look what are the advantages of this marriage of success, is customization, because it allows you to easily integrate different systems with each other. And we've been talking about AI many times today and yesterday, and a lot of other things. Data is the new gold or the new petroleum. Well, this is an easy way to get data together prior to translating them into what I like to call actionable insights. Scalability. The good thing with best-of-breed kind of vendors is they are focusing on specific areas. So they want to be the best in a limited number of areas. So this allows you to really, based on this open API approach, again, that I said, is to change fast with a low level of disruption. Flexibility, I said it before, today we are often getting locked in. If you go for open API plus best of breed, you have the freedom to start discussing with different vendors to say, hey, okay, you have a good application, but there are other guys out there, so let's have a discussion about how do we potentially collaborate together. Innovation, it is driving innovation because there is a lot of competition out there and everyone wants to be the best in their area. So that's in your benefit. And then efficiency, because it allows you to streamline different workflows by automating, and I mentioned it before, the different kind of data flows between different systems. So these are, for me, a lot of practical things. And in summary, because I would like to show afterwards a very short video, monolithic is, for me, equal to dated solution, existing infrastructure, obviously, rigid, limited analytics, and poor data quality, or making it more difficult, whilst agile allows you to customize, to be scalable, flexible, innovative, efficient, and also controlling your implementation costs because you really build what you need and you buy what you need. I want to show you a very short video, what we've been doing with some of our customers in bringing that into action. And in this case, the back office, the solid backbone was Salesforce, but it could also be Microsoft Dynamics, could be Oracle, could be SAP. It doesn't matter.
The Pitcher Sales Suite is an intelligent selling solution that will arm your sales team to better engage customers with high-quality, personalized content, drive effective follow-up, and collaborate with teammates. In this video, we're going to follow Henrik, an Audicon sales representative working in Odense. Henrik begins his afternoon by opening his pitch room, where everything he needs to sell is at his fingertips. Literally,
Difficult to understand.
captains of Audicon Salesforce and Henrik's Outlook app to lay out his scheduled meetings, his tasks, and metrics he selected.
You cannot understand it, you cannot hear it.
His next meeting is with John
cannot hear it. Okay. We'll forget the video because sound. So, but we have this video also on our booth if you really want to see how a real use case could work, and also using AI in your own environment, because we've been talking a lot about AI. We use it internally every day, and it's really giving us a lot of insights. And the beauty when you start using AI in your own environment is it is your content, your environment, so you know what is in there. So you also know what to expect, what should be the answer from your own AI. Ours is called PIA, which is Picture Intelligent Agent, and we can also give you a demo there. So with this playing in the background, I have still 4 minutes, but I would like to open the floor for some questions, remarks, pushbacks about what I've been sharing with you. Silence. Let me then ask you a question, and I don't know if people want to answer. Is this kind of exercise happening in your company based on the external factors I shared with you to see what are we going to do? Are we going to use this to move forward, to move with an existing system to a new platform, or is the question open again? Sorry? It should be. So meaning doing the exercise is needed. Who agrees with that? Let me do a poll here. Who agrees with we should use this opportunity to really do an internal check where we want to go compared with where we are today from a platform perspective? Who does agree? Who doesn't agree? No one is disagreeing, so all the rest is saying we don't know. Okay, cool. So with that, I end my session. I stay on stage because I will have the pleasure to moderate the next panel. So thank you very much, and let's move on.
Customer service documentation,